Hey, it's a special Saturday Locked On Lakers mini podcast. So raise your hand if you thought a very shorthanded Lakers were going to come into Toronto and beat them in overtime. Put your hand down, liar. No, you didn't. How did this happen? What does it all mean? We're going to break it all down next.
You are Locked On Lakers, your daily Los Angeles Lakers podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Kamenetzky here. Thanks for making Locked On Lakers your first listen every day, Monday through Friday. Occasionally, weekends like this particular show, it is always appreciated. Make another Locked On podcast your second listen as long, these are the rules, as Locked On Lakers is your first. No Brian today. He is out of town with his family, but I could not let a victory like this go without its own mini show. The Lakers notch a huge 128-123 win over the Raptors in Toronto. The Lakers have been shorthanded all year, but this one was even shorthanded by their standards. No Carmelo Anthony, out with what was described as a non-COVID illness, no THT, still dealing with that ankle. Anthony Davis obviously out. The Lakers, I believe, had not won in Toronto since 2014. Some of that is due to not playing there for a few years because of the pandemic, but still, it's been a while. They have not won a road game since like the first Bush administration. But in this one, in this win, you had the Lakers looking the best they have, not just in terms of winning a game, and God knows they needed it, or the basketball themselves, but just body language and outward confidence, energy, hustle, and actually enjoying themselves, like actually having fun on the court. And this was great. I know from a fan's perspective, I know I enjoyed watching it. I'm sure you guys all did too, but just seeing them on the court enjoying themselves in and of itself is crazily kind of a, notable sight for this team. And it was great in the sense that everybody who played in this game, all 9 guys, they all made a difference. Some guys were bigger than others, and I'm going to get into a few standouts, but all of them made specific differences that you can point to in this game that mattered. And then you cannot state enough the importance of getting off to a good start. Like Brian and I talked about this in Thursday's show. The Lakers have just been in these brutal first quarters where they cannot score a basket to save their lives. And not being able to score is draining. It is draining mentally, it's draining spiritually, and it affects your defense because beyond the fact that some of these misses put you in transition or turnovers put you in transition, and that's where the Lakers are at their worst, like it feels futile when you cannot put the damn ball in the basket. And the Lakers, for the first time in a long time, got off to a really hot start. They had 10 quick points early from Wenyen Gabriel. He's getting his second career start, his first with the Lakers, had 10 of the Lakers' first 15 points. It was en route to a 17-point career high for Gabriel, 7 of 8 from the field. He hit 3 threes. And beyond the whole found money element of Wenyen Gabriel being a star of this game, like this is something that makes you as a team feel like things might actually be breaking your way from the jump. And, Frank Vogel talked about after this game, and the Lakers have not gotten a lot of lucky breaks this season. I mean, say whatever you want about roster construction and the Westbrook trade and whatever decisions Frank Vogel has made, hasn't made, whatever. This is not a team that has been steeped in luck. And it was, I think, a huge psychological boost for them to actually have points on the board early and actually have a lead in this game early. And here's the thing. The big lead that they built quickly, they actually lost it pretty quickly. The first quarter didn't go too long before it was tied. The Lakers were behind a little bit. There were like a billion lead changes in this game. But it is a totally different deal when you are not fighting upstream for an entire game. Like it makes a difference, and it makes you feel more up for the fight. Like the Lakers really fought a lot during this game. Like they seemed up for the idea of trading punches. And there were struggles at times. They could not figure out how to stop rookie Scottie Barnes, who is an absolute nightmare for this team. Like the Lakers may be the least equipped team in the league to specifically stop a guy like Scottie Barnes, who is young, explosive, athletic, long, like a guy like gets up and down the court really quick, really strong around the rim. The Lakers are a team without, even with Dwight playing, and Dwight played well in this game. I thought he had his moments, but the Lakers are not a team that is really good at protecting the rim. They could not figure out what the hell to do with Scottie Barnes until tying him up on basically Toronto's last possession. But, timing is everything. And again, I think just you don't end up getting as defeated by a guy like Scottie Barnes in his first season kicking your ass when the game you're not down 15 points early. But back to Wenyen Gabriel, he had some terrific sequences in this game on both sides of the ball, besides just 7 of 8 from the field, hit 3 threes. He had 2 assists in the game. He had this phenomenal defensive possession where I believe it was in the fourth quarter. He started out on Pascal Siakam in the post on an island, bodying him, and Siakam couldn't get past him. And he ended up having to give up the ball. And then Gabriel scrambles out to Precious Achiuwa, who's near the sideline, and he made him pick up his dribble, and Achiuwa ended up stepping out of bounds. And just this was a game where Gabriel's skill set and his energy, raw as he is, made a difference. And I got a question from True Blue on Twitter. Should Wenyen Gabriel start getting more minutes? Is Ariza done for the year with Gabriel playing so well? I think Trevor was done regardless. But yeah, I think Gabriel is going to get more minutes. And I think Vogel should give him more minutes. And he sounds like he wants to give him more. Like in the post game, Vogel talked about how he's intrigued and the organization's intrigued by Gabriel's skill set. And, they need somebody with his athleticism, his size. They need a guy who is above 6'8", who's playable, like the energy that he has. And I think also just the optimism. Like Wenyen Gabriel, he's new on this team, which means he has not had all hope beaten out of him because of everything that's going on this year. Like, this is a dude that is happy to have a flipping job because he is trying right now to fight to get his next job, whether that's with the Lakers or with whoever in this league. Like, Wenyen Gabriel is grateful for the opportunity to be able to step on the court, and all the madness of this year has not just, beaten out every bit of human spirit in him. And it reminds me a little bit of the way Stanley Johnson was for like the first, couple weeks of the season before everything of this year has probably beaten him down too. Although, like everyone else in this game, Stanley Johnson had moments. But I think Wenyen Gabriel will start getting more minutes, and it was nice to see him have, a career night in a game where the Lakers really needed him. Russell Westbrook, 22 points, 8 of 18 from the field, 4 of 7 from behind the arc, 10 assists, 10 rebounds, only 4 turnovers against those 10 assists. This was a triple-double. People will debate all the time the importance of Russ's triple-doubles, the significance, how much they really matter. This was a triple-double that made a difference. And Russ became the hero on the most Westbrookian sequence ever. Like in the final seconds of the fourth quarter, Lakers are down 3. LeBron puts up a 3 and misses. Russ gets the offensive rebound, then puts up an absolutely horrible 3. Just horrible, unnecessary. There was enough time on the clock, and you could feel like just the energy of the team briefly gets sucked out. I was thinking Russ mysteriously might not clear customs when the Lakers get back in DC today for the game against the Wizards. But Toronto gets the ball back, and then Russ gets a strip steal after LeBron and Wenyen Gabriel trap a Raptor. They force a pass to Fred VanVleet. Russ gets the strip, sprints up court, and he hits a 3. Well, Russell Westbrook in and of itself hitting a, essentially buzzer beating, send the game to overtime 3. In and of itself is like, whoa, nobody sees that coming. Nobody wants him to take that shot to begin with. But right before that, he had briefly had his right foot on the line, and he had the wherewithal to look down, check his feet, pull his right foot slightly back, then take the shot and drain it. And then that's what sent the game to overtime. And that's where the Lakers did the rest. And this was, as LeBron put it, like, as he said, a big time IQ moment, on Russ's part. And that was a big time shot by a big time player. And this really was a great game for Russell Westbrook. And, there were a few Russian sequences, a few passes you'd want back, a few what the F are you doing shots. And that's baked into the cake with Russ. And I think everybody knows it by now. But this was a game that I thought he actually, and Frank Vogel said the same thing afterwards, I thought he did a really nice job controlling things. Vogel talked afterwards about how Russ's leadership went beyond just making plays in this game. He thought he did a really good job organizing sets, putting guys in the proper places, really leading as a point guard. And that is, I think, something that is necessary for Russ. It's going to make him feel good. It's going to make his teammates feel good, because everybody knows all the struggles that have been going on all season, all the issues that have accompanied Russ. He actually had a great line after the game. He was asked where he gets his confidence after bad misses. And this game, he had a few bad misses. Russ's entire season, really his whole career, has had misses that just make you go like, God damn, man. Like, the hell were you even aiming at? Like, you hit nothing on that. And his response was, I got 23,000 points. How about that? And I can't argue with it. And then finally, there was LeBron, or LeBronto, as he is known in this country, continuing his absolute dominance. This country, by the way, being Canada, not the United States, but in Canada, he has just had a dominance over the Raptors. Like, LeBron could be charged as a war criminal for what he's done to the country of Canada. Like, that fan base, I'm sure, respects the hell out of LeBron, but they got to hate him at the same time. Like, just hate what he's done to them. Like, it is not a coincidence. It actually feels like apropos, like kismet, that they won a title the first season he was out of the East. Like, it's just fitting for what he's done to them. And this game was no exception. He had 36 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists, 15 to 26 from the floor. He hit a 3 late in the fourth quarter, like banked in from an almost sideways angle. Like, the physics on this shot truly made no sense. I have no clue how he did this. And I rewound it a bunch of times, and I got nothing. I don't know how it happened. He had 2 big weak side blocks, like just a ton of energy and like a ton of theater and showmanship. You could feel how much LeBron wanted to win this game. Like, 16 of his points of those 36, they were in the fourth quarter. He drove to the basket all game. He finished through contact. He didn't argue, at least that I noticed, when he didn't get calls. Like, he just got back, played defense, played 45 minutes in this game. It's a lot considering, where, everything with LeBron, where he's at this season, where he's at in his career, all the mileage. Thought he and Russ had some really good sequences playing off each other. It's interesting too. Like, I asked LeBron after, I think, the Wolves game, what's been the hardest part of leading the team this season? And LeBron said patience, and, just trying to maintain patience. And to be honest, I don't think he's always been that successful along these lines. Like, his impatience has often been very palatable. There was the very well publicized drama around the trade deadline that led to, I think, a lot of turmoil around this team. It made it very clear that he did not have belief in the team the way it was structured. And some of that can bleed into his body language and his energy and stuff that his teammates take cues from. But when he wants to, his tone can be incredible. And this was a game where I thought LeBron did just a great job setting a tone standard for everybody else and instilling confidence in his teammates. And it remains to be seen whether he's going to play tonight in DC. But damn, man, either way, he gave the Lakers just an incredible lift in this game. If he can play, I'm sure he will. If he doesn't, if he ends up breaking Karl Malone's record in Cleveland, which is the game on Monday, it's more fun that way anyway. But either way, just hats off to LeBron, because he really, really came up big in a game where his team really needed a win. I think practically, psychologically, this was a night where the Pelicans won too, so they maintain a 1-game edge. over that for that 9 seed. So this was important, and it was a really. It's been a while since I've said this, man. This was a really fun game to watch for the Lakers, like a really fun game against a quality team. So whatever importance you think this season still has, this one contained a lot of it. So probably not going to hear about from us again until Monday, but you never know. Either way, as always, appreciate you guys being here. Also want to let everybody know that Locked On Lakers brought to you by Built Bar. If you are not eating right, get on it, man, because Built Bar makes doing that easy. If you have not tried the Puffs, you are missing out on one of Built Bar's best tasting bars. Puffs are the first ever protein infused marshmallow, fluffy, marshmallowy, and they're not just a protein bar, they're a treat. They are covered in 100% real chocolate. They got awesome flavors like cinnamon churro. They've got coconut marshmallow, banana cream pie, like just great stuff. They're all going to be your favorites. And unlike a candy bar, most of them are like 200 to 300 calories a piece, just does nothing for you. Most Built Bars contain just 130 calories, only 4 grams of sugar, 4 net carbs, but 17 grams of protein. And that's the good stuff. So go to built.com, use the promo code LOCK15, get 15% off your order. Again, promo code LOCK15, 15% off at built.com. Again, see everybody on Monday, probably, unless something really huge happens against the Wizards tonight. As always, appreciate everybody being here, making Locked On Lakers your first listen. Make sure you're subscribing to the YouTube channel, and we will talk to you soon.